Namaste. Today's conversation is about a young man, a chatterbox. He was walking down his village. He came into the edge of the village, into the jungle area, and there he saw a skull. Yes, a skull. The chatterbox, as usual, asked the skull, "But you're a chatterbox, you see. What brought you here?" And to his shock and surprise, the skull replied, "Talking. Talking brought me here." The young man was shocked and he ran to the palace, requested an audience with the king, and updated the king of this so called talking skull at the edge of the forest. The king, out of curiosity, told the young man to take him to the talking skull. Along with the king, his council of ministers also followed. They were all amazed. A talking skull. So, when they reached the edge of the forest, they reached the skull, and the young man again spoke to the skull. "What brought you here?" The skull remained silent. The young man kept talking to the skull, but the skull just would not answer. This made the king lose his patience, and he told the young man, "I always knew the skull would never talk. You have wasted my time. You have wasted the time of my ministers. For this, I will punish you." The king was very angry, you see. This is rubbish. So the king ordered his guards to immediately behead this young man and throw his head near the skull so the ants could eat it. And the king and his ministers left for the palace. The palace guards did as instructed, beheaded this young man, and threw his skull near the actual skull. His head, I mean, near the actual skull. This is when the skull, the talking skull, opened his mouth and began laughing and asked the head of the man, "What brought you here, sir?" And the head of the man could only answer in shame, "Talking brought me here, sir." Now let's come to a today's world, a today's life. Believe me, talking too much could always get you into trouble. There is a saying, "I have never regretted my silence. I have always regretted my speech." So, my dear friend, what I'm trying to tell you, talk when it is necessary. Talk sense. Don't talk rubbish, bullshit just for the sake of talking. And it is so called proven if people are following the so called spiritual path, people who are meditating, etc., that silence actually is directly, our mind, you can say, is actually directly related to our speech. Yes, our mind is directly related to our speech. The more we talk, the more we think. The more we think, the more we talk. And vice versa. The quieter we are, the lesser we speak. The quieter we are in our mind, the lesser we speak. Again, I repeat. That's why you see a lot of these meditation courses, which a lot of you have gone to. Some of you have gone into a little, deeper level. They always request you to practice, or you can say, abide in silence. Silence calms your mind. Yes, silence calms your mind. Talking too much, being a chatterbox, keeps your mind always overactive. This is no exaggeration, my dear friend. It's a fact. Try it. Please try it, at least for an hour every day. Silence. If need be, tell people around you that you're abiding in silence and not to converse with you for that 1 hour. Do it. Believe me, it'll soon become a practice, it'll soon become a habit, and that 1 hour may become even two, three, four, five, and then you will start speaking only when required. But you will find a new strength inside you, a calmness, because your mind is not in an overactive mode. With this, I close today's conversation. I shall converse more with you soon. Take care. Namaste.